Hey, it is Mike Matthews, and I don't sound like I've recorded this 15 times already and had issues where it didn't record or anything like that. That's okay. That happens to all podcasters now and then. I was talking to someone the other day about how they wanted to do a podcast. They were young, and they thought, hey, I don't want to do a podcast because everybody else has done podcasts, and I don't know if I can add anything new or different to it. And I said, you know what? No one is like you. Exactly. Just like that Howard Jones song called Specialty. You are a specialty. No one's going to look at the world precisely like you, and you will add things to this world. You will add so much if you put your point of view in there into the audio world of podcasting. So we'll see if she actually does it. But I've been doing this a while because I am Mike Matthews, the host of the longest running self-produced daily podcast called Mike's Daily Podcast. And you and I are going to go into Café Anyway right now. Thank you for listening to the show. Café
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 2927, 2927, and Mike Matthews here at Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast here at the last place on earth in the Maritopica in podCastro Valley Mont, and I was at Pacifica again. I've been in Pacifica 3 times in 1 week, and I hadn't been there for months. But enough about me. How are we today? Oh, I've got
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I've got serious tired eyes. In fact, I'm going to record myself on the Facebook, and you can see
Mike's
for yourself.
Daily
Tired eyes
Podcast
is what I am.
Yeah.
And let's see. Go live. There we go. Well, I have an interesting story. So I was thinking today about how I need to trim this goatee again. I got the gray beard happening, and I'm not ever going to be one of these guys that grows the bottom of my beard really, really long till I can tie it up in a little rubber band and make it look like a serious Billy Goat thing. What do they call that? Billy Goat beard? I'm not going to do that ever. And people have suggested, Mike, you should do that with the cool, long, gray hair. No. And I'm not going to shave my face. I'm not going to get rid of the gray hair. I'm not going to dye my gray hair to make it dark and fake. Although I know lots of guys that do that. Ooh, I know this one guy works for a very famous app that is not the best app in the world because it's supposed to be an app that you can listen to other radio stations on. And what a lot of these apps do is they go, oh, we'll make our own radio station. And I was listening to this station. Let's see, it rhymes with the word moonin'. And so I'm listening to their own little recreation of a radio format called Adult Alternative.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Yes, a beautiful picture from Pacifica, either from yesterday or from the weekend. See it at mikesdailypodcast.com. It is such a beautiful area. And even though it was so hot over the weekend that people were rushing out there to stay cool, it was not so crowded that, it wasn't Half Moon Bay crowded. Because Half Moon Bay has only one way in and out, unless you drive all the way south down to Santa Cruz or Pescadero or north up to Pacifica to get out. So there's one way, 92, and that gets all bogged down and it's awful. Whereas Pacifica has several ways to escape. The late great Basil the Boxer, speaking of Half Moon Bay, went there many a time. And I would listen to this radio format. It was a ferret. A radio ferret is what I was listening to. And it was called Adult Alternative is what it is. And Moonin has their format is called Adult Alternative, but it ends up being stuff that just horrible music. And I'm like, there's a reason why there's chowder. There's a reason why you have to say the word album. Adult Alternative, because there's the album concept of, hey, these songs were so good. They were on very memorable, award-winning albums. So why do you want to, not to mention albums like the one I was talking about on the last show, a very little known band.
Mike, you want to join in on this conversation? You can join in.
Is the conversation about 90s one-hit wonder bands like Deep Blue something? That was on the last podcast, But speaking of other musicians, nobody does Denim or Jeff Dunham. Anybody notice how that old man character that Biden turned into that? He didn't model that on Biden.
All I want to do is sit on a couch and eat corn chips.
I think he was just sitting on a couch eating corn chips, and along came that idea. Nobody does denim like Beyonce. Levi's is focusing more on its original brand and on women. A month-long Beyonce collab kicked off this week with a remake of a 1985 Levi's jeans ad. Oh, there are my Levi's. I was looking for them as I was telling you this story. Beyonce's song Levi's Jeans celebrates the ultimate American uniform. Oh. Yes, I have quite a few jeans. I have to because I'm German. And Germans are, I have German relatives.
Dilly.
And they say, I guess, did they say dilly dilly? No. Well, the thing is that whenever Germans come to America, they go and try and find Levi's jeans. That used to be the big thing. You used to not to be able to buy them over there for some reason. But I know a lot of my relatives from Germany love Levi's. Okay, so that's that story. And then Apple could launch
They will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
Oh, we're talking about Levi's or Apple is gonna be met with fire and fury. Apple could launch not a ring of fire, but launch a ring to rival Samsung by 2026, adding to the tech giant's portfolio of products from smartphones to watches. Samsung has a Galaxy ring, and it costs almost $400. Uber, and that's, what? Rings? Watches?
Latina Uzi.
Latina Uzis? What? How about instead of Uzis, how about Uber? Uber gives sustainability-minded users an option to only use full electric cars is what they're doing now if you want to be electrically minded. I'm wearing the glasses now, which you can see if you go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Mike's Daily Podcast. I post a video of whatever I'm recording, and my eyes are so tired today that
If you shoot me, you better shoot straight. There's nothing like a wounded animal.
I'm not going to shoot anybody. No. It's just my eyes are really, really weak. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica. As I record this, the Hurricane Milton is bearing down on Florida. I've been hearing about Milton all day. But listen, I'm okay with that. My mom lived in Florida, in Daytona Beach, more on the Atlantic side.
Anyway.
Café Anyway. So this is not that the Milton is hitting on the Gulf Coast side. So, yeah, I know that fear. And I'd hear, because that's all they cover in the news when a hurricane comes. And I'd be like trying to call my mom, and she'd always have, after a hurricane, these wild stories. And I would think, okay, I don't want to know that.
Oh, yes. I know all about how to spot microaggressions and root out privilege.
Oh, good for you. There's going to be some microaggression in those clouds there. So I just hope everyone is careful over there and that they don't sustain a lot of damage and that everything works out. I did go once to visit my mom right after a hurricane, and I was just amazed how quickly those trucks go out there and fix the wires and fix all the thing and get out all the debris. You just throw all your debris on your front lawn, they come and they get it. It was amazing.
Revenge is a dish best served cold. You think about that.
I am thinking about that. I'm thinking about getting revenge against hurricanes. But this doesn't seem to be any way to do that. Except if you leave a state that never gets hurricanes, but you never know. Hurricanes, like tornadoes, seem to hit all over. So, the U.S. may have hit peak obesity. A decades-long rise in obesity may have been reversed.
We have a knight who say, nee.
They say nay to obesity. The obesity rate stopped its long climb and dropped by roughly 2 percentage points from the years 2020 to 2023. And some of the reason for that may be Wegovy, Zepbound, and other weight loss drugs. 1 in 8 American adults have used these drugs. 1 in 8.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
And they don't want to get so big that they can't get up when they fall down, which can result in a loss with all these weight loss drugs, a loss in total body weight of up to 12%, more than what lifestyle changes can do. However, when you stop using them...
He's nuts! They're nuts! They know nothing!
And some people don't want to keep using them for whatever reason. Like any drugs, there can be problems. It can come back. And I've heard other things. So college graduates who are more like... Now, but the things you hear about how what other things these weight loss drugs do. It brings hair back. Well, it doesn't say that. But
what in the world was that about?
But, there's all these other things they claim that they can do other than help you lose weight. So, yes, it's a big industry. It doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. College graduates who are more likely to take the new class of weight loss drugs because they want to be young and beautiful and they have all those influencers they want to look like that they watch on YouTube and TikTok.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way.
Sarah Huckabee said that kids make you humble and that people who don't have kids are not humble. So I don't have kids. I must be one full of myself narcissist. And if I am, I apologize. But college graduates who are more likely to take the weight loss drugs are seeing the steepest decline in obesity rates. And that makes sense because they're young.
All right, Mike, take care. Thank you. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, they got to go. This weight loss drug topic is making them a little nervous. Well, it is true, though, that they got the higher metabolism, so they might be losing weight better than anyone. Curbing obesity is on par with the decline in cigarette smoking. And that's what the sound you make if you smoke too much. Actually, it sounds more like a cough. But obesity increases the risk of illness, like type 2 diabetes, there's the heart disease, high blood pressure, some types of cancer.
What are you, nuts?
And Zepbound maker Eli Lilly is worth more, and this is how big it is, worth more than Walmart, JP Morgan, and Exxon Mobil. All that from Rob Black. I produce his podcast. He's heard on AM 1220 KDOW weekday mornings. In fact, I'm going to be working the board, producing his show tomorrow morning. He's also on Cron TV Monday through Thursday in the 9 o'clock hour.
The fact that they were correcting everything and not correcting with her.
When you look at the fact that they were correcting me on everything and not correcting her, it can mean only one of two things. Either they were biased against me, or I was just saying insane things that were wrong. Oh, God. Oh, is that it? Oh,
surprise.
No. Oh, did I say more factually untrue things? Oh, I owe a lot of people a lot of apologies.
Was I saying something about that you shouldn't trust anybody from FEMA? And that means that you won't get any support and help and aid from the disaster? And no. Sometimes I don't know what's going to happen after this election. No one knows. But the fact that he will not have his platform anymore, or he'll be president, but it won't be because of this pressure cooker we're sitting in now because of the election. He's getting so much more attention. Now, I think back to 4 years ago, or let's make it 5, because that way we were actually in during his presidency. And he would call press conferences, and people would, the cameras would all show up. The legacy media, they would show up to watch whatever I said, even though I'd make fun of them. And the thing is that they did, to the point that the legacy media would show up and all he would do is talk about himself. And they'd be saying things similar to, why are we here? And they would start to leave and cut away. Even networks like Fox were cutting away because it's the same old thing. So we'll see. But I've been thinking about that lately. Like I've been thinking about you and London Beat. And also thinking about TikTok. But first, Nilly wanted to say something. More than a dozen state attorneys general are filing lawsuits against TikTok. Yay! You know, I tried to post videos from the podcast on TikTok, and they just would not. At first, they would. Well, it was difficult at first because I wouldn't use the app, and I'd go directly from a desktop computer or a laptop and post the videos to TikTok from the podcast. And after a while, they're going, well, you need an app. You can't just go through the web. That's cheating. So they blocked me. But that's all right. TikTok is getting sued. TikTok is said to be deceiving users by claiming that its app is safe for children, despite its addictive features. It was called by one attorney general as digital nicotine. TikTok coins are an unlicensed money transmission business. I know somebody that uses the TikTok marketplace, or is it, there's the Facebook marketplace and the TikTok shop or something where you can buy and sell things. And he's actually been somewhat successful with it. And he's about my age. He's like in his 50s. So he's been able to turn it around and help himself. He's an artist. But this TikTok coins thing, unlicensed money transmission business is what it's being called. Users buy TikTok, and they are the TikTok coins rather, and they buy coins to send virtual gifts to streamers, and they can cash it out for real money. TikTok then earns a commission of up to 50% on each transmission. More than half of young people between the ages of 13 and 17 years of age in the U.S. are using the app, more than half. And worldwide, TikTok has more than 1 billion active users. The U.S. is going to ban the app by January 19th unless ByteDance, which owns TikTok, finds a non-Chinese buyer for the company. Fascinating stuff. Look who's here. Hi, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. TikTok is awesome. I sell my snow globes on it, Mike Matthews. Okay, you didn't have any issues with it? They didn't block you or anything like that? No, Mike Matthews, I think it's wonderful. And then I make these little videos where I'm dancing, and people like that, Mike Matthews. It's what is that still a thing? Learning the dances on TikTok and doing a quick. I'm out of the loop. Well, that's all I have to say about TikTok. They're getting sued, and it's from the several state attorneys general from different states, because they're state attorney generals and they'd be in a state. I guess it's part of the name. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, that's wonderful. You got to go to Pacifica and cool down. Yeah, it was so hot that even at the beach, and then you're standing in the water, the waves crashing against your legs, and you're still hot. And I know that's Florida. I visited Florida all the time, and it was hot bath water. It was hot outside. You get maybe a tiny cool breeze to cool down. But yikes. I mean, I know people that love the heat. They want to just stand in the middle of the desert and they enjoy it, and they drink water and they hydrate and they're happy. but they'll buy a house for $10,000 to be in the desert, away from everybody. But dang, that's not conducive for my brain in this world. How about you? What do you think? Call this number. Let me know.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
Here in podCastro, Altamont, the last place on earth, and with all things to do with the Mike's Daily Podcast Show, we find out all that. We go to the mainframe and we hear from A-Frame. Thank you for listening.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!